Big rumors and predictions for two elite recruits for Kentucky. Are Caden Lewis and Mikkel Skinner closers? Let's take a look. But first, I want to see your application so you can keep getting more news from the Cats. The Kentucky Wildcats recruiting landscape is shaping up promisingly, both in basketball and football, with two potential big-name additions to the 2025 class. Under Mark Pope in basketball and Mark Stoops in football, the Wildcats are positioning themselves as strong contenders in the pursuit of two four-star recruits, Caden Lewis and Mikkel Skinner. Expectations are high for both programs, and the recent predictions are encouraging for Kentucky fans. In basketball, Caden Lewis has been one of the top names mentioned in recruiting circles. The Washington, D.C. guard who emerged in the summer is considered one of the top prospects in the 2025 class, ranked 20th overall by Rivals. Lewis has narrowed his list of schools to three powerhouses: Kentucky, Duke, and UConn, all of which have long college basketball traditions. Despite having taken an official visit to UConn and having a visit scheduled to Duke, Mark Pope's staff appears to be in an excellent position to secure Lewis' commitment. The Wildcats' momentum in recruiting Lewis was evident after predictions from two prominent Rivals analysts, Richard O'Leary and Jackson Collier, indicated Kentucky would be the most likely destination for the player. Those predictions came on September 27th, just before Lewis' visit to Duke, suggesting Pope's staff is managing to keep up the pace and impress the young talent. Should the Wildcats be able to secure a commitment from Lewis, it would represent a huge win for the program, solidifying Pope's reputation as an excellent recruiter in his still young tenure as Kentucky's head coach. On the football front, the race for four-star tight end Mikkel Skinner is also heating up. Skinner, currently ranked the 211th best player nationally by 247 Sports, was previously committed to Cincinnati but appears to be reconsidering his options after visiting Lexington and South Carolina. The battle between the two SEC programs has been intense, especially after the Gamecocks went over the Wildcats earlier in the season gave them a temporary edge. However, the tide appears to be turning in Kentucky's favor, with renowned analysts such as 247 Sports' Tom Loy and Rivals' Sam Spiegelman switching their predictions from Skinner to the Wildcats. Loy, who had originally picked South Carolina as Skinner's destination, changed his prediction to Kentucky with considerable confidence. The Wildcats went over then 5-ranked Ole Miss appeared to be a deciding factor, showing the strength and competitiveness of Stoops' team, which may have swayed Skinner to reconsider his decision. While the race for Skinner still has a long way to go, Kentucky's position in the recruiting game is solid. Stoops and Marrow's ability to close deals with high-profile recruits has been a game-changer for the program, and the addition of Skinner would be a huge boost to the Wildcats' offense. With that, Kentucky remains on track to produce a highly competitive 2025 recruiting class in both basketball and football, promising to keep its programs among the most respected in college. These recruiting moves are a testament to the hard work that Mark Pope and Mark Stoops have put in to keep Kentucky on top. Pope believes the potential addition of Caden Lewis would further strengthen the Wildcats' backcourt, while Stoops continues to build a potent offense with the hope that Skinner will be a key part of his plans for the future. Wildcats fans certainly have reason to be excited about what's to come, and the next few weeks could bring some big games that could set the tone for a bright future for both programs. Having a player like Jackson Robinson, who was named the most likely breakout player of the 2024-25 college basketball season, on the Kentucky Wildcats roster is not only impressive, but also a great indication of how the program under Mark Pope is moving in the right direction. Robinson already showed his potential by being named Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year during his time at BYU. And now, on a bigger platform like Kentucky, he has the chance to not only live up to expectations, but exceed them. This nomination puts Robinson in the spotlight in the SEC and college basketball in general, and rightfully so. His adaptability and impact off the bench, which was once crucial at BYU, will be even more apparent now that he can play a leading role in the Wildcats offense. Kentucky has always been known for attracting elite talent, but having a player with this kind of preseason recognition is a huge plus, as it signals that the team is prepared to compete aggressively in the SEC and potentially contend for a title in March. Robinson's development this season will be fascinating to watch. He brings a combination of experience and raw potential that is rare in players his age. With the support of a coach like Mark Pope, who has proven to be excellent at maximizing the talent of his players, Robinson's chances of establishing himself as one of the conference's top prospects are very high. This expectation is a reflection not only of his individual talent, but also of the system and culture Pope is building at Kentucky. With Andy Katz's appointment, it's safe to say that the Wildcats are betting big on Robinson, and he has all the ingredients to be a mainstay for the team this season. If he can turn that recognition into consistent performance on the court, there's no doubt that Kentucky will be in a very good position to compete in the SEC and eventually make a memorable run in the NCAA tournament. For Kentucky fans, having a player of this caliber on the roster, with so much potential for growth, is a big reason to believe that the immediate future of the program is bright. Let's get moving. Having Jasper Johnson, a five-star point guard committed to the Kentucky Wildcats, named the top recruit at the Wooten 150 camp is a clear sign that Mark Pope and his staff are on the right track in recruiting. This kind of recognition at an event as selective and competitive as the Wooten Top 150 held in Las Vegas not only reinforces the quality of Pope's recruitment, but also brings a new wave of excitement to Kentucky fans. Johnson's performance has not gone unnoticed. ESPN's Paul Biancardi described his game with rare praise, highlighting his versatility as a combo guard who can score from anywhere on the floor. His ability to adapt quickly to the game, find space, and exploit his long-range shot, as well as his talent off the dribble and shooting, shows that Johnson is not just a promising player, but a future star in the making. For Kentucky, this means the team will have a player who can impact the game in multiple ways with a maturity that goes beyond his years. This recognition is more than just a standout performance at a camp. It solidifies the confidence that Kentucky's recruiting staff has shown in securing a player of Johnson's caliber, especially in such a competitive college recruiting landscape. Pope's ability to attract and develop talent is becoming a hallmark, and Johnson's presence in the program only heightens those expectations. Kentucky is not only recruiting talented players, but also developing future stars who can take the program to new heights. Additionally, Johnson's rise on the national recruiting scene not only highlights his talent, but also suggests that he could rise even higher in the rankings as the high school basketball season progresses. With the prospect of a strong final season before joining Kentucky, Johnson can continue to impress, and his performances in the Wooten Top 150 are just the beginning of what looks to be a stellar career ahead. For Kentucky fans, this kind of news is exactly what they've been waiting for when they've been looking at the 2025 commits. With Johnson leading this group, alongside other top recruits like Malachi Moreno, the Wildcats are laying a solid foundation for the future. Mark Pope and his staff are clearly making the right moves, and Johnson's impact, both now and in the future, will be a key part of the program's success. Game on! The Kentucky Wildcats' recent 20-17 victory over fifth-ranked Ole Miss was one of the most important moments of the Mark Stoops era. However, even amid the excitement of such a big win, concerns arose within the team, especially with the absence of cornerback Maxwell Hairston, a key player in the Wildcats' defense. The team faced one of the most powerful offenses in college football without its star defensive back, and the impact of Hairston's absence was felt, although the defense held firm and managed to hold off Ole Miss in a tense game. What initially appeared to be a shoulder injury that had limited Hairston in previous weeks turned out to be something more serious and unexpected, as revealed after the win. Teammate J.Q. Hardaway mentioned that Hairston had to be hospitalized due to this new complication, although the exact details are still unclear. Even from the hospital, Hairston demonstrated his team spirit by sending a message of support to his teammates, urging them to continue their mission, which served as a great motivation for the team in the game against Ole Mississippi. This connection and leadership, even from a distance, highlights how respected and essential Hairston is within the group. The news, however, does not bring the relief that Kentucky fans were hoping for. Head coach Mark Stoops was cautious when talking about Hairston's condition after the most recent practice, mentioning that he is recovering but confirming that the defender will be out for some time. Although Stoops promised a more detailed update later, his words indicate that Hairston will not be available for the next game against Vanderbilt, which could be a significant blow to a defense that has proven to be one of the best in college football so far. With Hairston out, head coach Mark Stoops and his coaching staff have had to turn to other options. Michigan transfer DJ Waller Jr. has taken over for Hairston, despite having dealt with a series of injuries himself during fall camp and early in the season. Waller's versatility has been tested, but his lack of playing time could prove to be a challenge in critical moments. Another young talent who has had a chance to shine in Oxford is freshman Terrion Nichols, who also faced a setback, suffering a dislocated shoulder during the game. He was able to play, but his status for the next few weeks is also uncertain and will need to be monitored closely. The Wildcats' defense has shown that it is resilient, even amidst its many injuries. However, the prolonged loss of Hairston would be a huge challenge for a unit that has been vital to the team's success this season. With important games coming up, especially in the competitive SEC, it will be crucial for Stoops to fine-tune the pieces and keep the defensive unit focused while waiting for Hairston to return. Your thoughts are important to the Cats. Comment below.